Hello everyone and welcome to another off-season video here at Frozen Oil. Welcome to the episode, Rod. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
And we have a great episode for you today because the 2025-2026 Edmonton Oilers schedule has been released.
Yeah.
So we are going to break that down on today's video. So please stay tuned and join us because we are going to go through pretty much the entire schedule for the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about some must-see games, and we're going to go over my top 3 must-watch games of the season, and Rod's going to give his top 3 must-watch games of the season. So it's going to be a great episode. Check it out. And might as well just get started here right away, Rod.
Let's do it.
So the schedule just got released yesterday, I believe. So it's been a pretty uneventful summer here waiting for news. I mean, there's been a few things, but nothing too crazy to report. We've touched on pretty much everything here on the channel. So to kick it off, we are going to mention some pretty glaring things. So one of the biggest things that stood out to me, and maybe this slide will kind of help present it a little better, Rod. But if you look at the Friday date, it is completely empty here.
I know.
All the way till we hit, I think it's March 6th and March 12th. We got games on back-to-back Fridays, and then
March
just
13th. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so no games on Fridays for the Oilers. So I mean, when it comes to kind of organizing your schedule around the Edmonton Oilers, you know, keep your Saturday evenings free and, you know, do your stuff on Friday if possible, because there's barely any games on Friday this year. So that's the first advice that we're going to kick off here on today's episode is make sure you're available for Saturdays to watch these games.
22 games on Saturday.
Yeah. So another thing, Rod, that kind of stood out to us was for the Oilers and their kind of history with afternoon games. We haven't had too much success in afternoon games, so I mean, I like to look at these as, you know, if we're lucky, we come out even with a 50-50 record. But Rod, you want to let everyone know how many afternoon games we have?
We got 8 this season. 8 games.
So 8 afternoon games. So 8 games where we're behind the 8 ball, because I don't know what it's been with these afternoon games in the Oilers, but they haven't been too particularly nice to us. So just wanted to mention that. And also, what else did we want to mention, Rod?
So we got 13 games back-to-back, so 26 games in total back-to-back, and those are always tough. I find them tough, really. But the biggest thing that we should be discussing, really, is the first half of the season. We got 24 away games and only 17 home games.
Yeah, so all this stuff here, all these games that are in red are away games. So if you kind of look at it here, I mean, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, so 9 home games, and the rest are just away games basically until December starts. So I mean, it's a very kind of rough schedule, I guess, very travel heavy schedule for the Oilers.
It's the first half of the season, but the second half of the season, it flips around, right? You got 24 home games, 17 away, and guess what? In those 17 games away, in the second half, none are in the East. So way less travel, easier for the boys. I think it's going to be a good second half, and we always do better in the second half of the season as well. So.
And the other weird thing with the Oilers, I don't know what it is, but it's been proven statistically, the Oilers are a very, very good road team.
60% last year.
Yeah, and the first 3 rounds of the playoffs last year, we were obviously did not have the home ice advantage, and it did not matter. We still won on the road quite easily. So I don't know what it is about playing on the road for the Oilers, but they do better than most.
Pressure. Maybe it's less pressure on the boys.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. So we'll see. But we're going to now kind of get into the specifics of this schedule. And I hope this kind of everybody can see this on their screen. But the season kicks off Wednesday, October 8th against the one and only Calgary Flames. So
I love this.
We're hosting the Calgary Flames at home. It's an 8 p.m. game on a Wednesday. And that is when the season officially starts. Rod, I know you wanted to mention when the preseason starts, so if you want to just go ahead and do that now.
Sure, we got 8 games this year. September 21st is the first game, and the last game is October the 3rd.
So 8 preseason games, and that's going to be cut down for next year, right?
Yeah.
So for the new CBA that's kicking into effect, we're going to have a shorter preseason, which kind of everybody wanted, and 2 extra regular season games. So we'll just quickly mention that. But when the points are real, it starts on October 8th. Moving on, we got Vancouver as our second game at home. So that will be, mark your calendars, that will be the return of Evander Kane.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I know you're going to miss him, buddy. But, hey, we got a 5th round pick in return, or what was it, a 4th rounder?
4th, I believe.
Yeah.
But you know what? We did retain.
Yeah. And they just got rid of Dakota Joshua, so, I mean, they're really welcoming Kane there. Second game of the season on the 11th, we got the Canucks. And then it is my fabled, most wanted to go to road swing, which is the New York one. Rangers, Islanders, Jersey, followed by Detroit and Ottawa. This is going to be a big tester for the Oilers. 5 games in a row on the road. Biggest thing for me, Rod, is the 16th versus the Islanders. We get to see the first overall pick in action. Matthew Schaefer, so I'm always tuning in to watch, whoever the first overall pick is. I'm always tuning in to watch those games for sure, so that's happening.
Exciting.
For sure. Big one is on the 23rd. We're at home against the Canadiens, so
of course
I'm sure there's going to be at least half of Rogers is going to be Montreal fans on that day.
Don't forget Mario.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out Mario. We all know that's going to be your date. Then we got Seattle, Vancouver in October, followed by a 3-game homestand, Utah, Rangers, Chicago, that ends on November 1st. So pretty packed October there. So for the month of October, we have 5 home games, 7 away games, and I think like
November
I said, for me, the home opener is the big one. I think for you, Rod, the return of Kane.
Yeah.
And for me, it's going to be a road game that I'm tuning into as must-see TV, which is against the Islanders, to watch the first overall pick and Matt Schaefer play. Moving on now to October. Moving on from October into November. Yeah, November is 4 home games and 10 away games. So
massive. This can change the whole season. Going into American Thanksgiving, right? If we can be at 500 in those away games, that'd be great. I think it's a big deal, but we are a good home away team. So, and I believe in my heart that these away games it's great for the team bonding, especially for those new guys, the young kids. A good way to have lunch together, get to know each other, have dinners, go out, get to really bond. Because when you're at home, you're with your family, with your girlfriend, with your kids. you don't really get to bond with the teammates. And I think for the first 2 months, I think it's an opportunity for those young kids and new players to really get to know the Oilers and the culture of the Oilers.
And basically, they're on the road from November 11th on a 7-game road trip, and they don't come back till probably the 23rd of November.
7 games in 10 days, eh? That's insane.
That honestly, that is going to be, a huge litmus test for the Oilers to see if they got what it takes this year to contend for the division. Massive roads, bunch of road games there, 7 in a row. But we're obviously going to highlight the one on November 22nd, which is a rematch of the Stanley Cup final for the last 2 years. And the Florida Panthers were in Florida for that one. We'll get a little bit later to when Oilers are hosting the Panthers. But for the month of November, like we said, 4 home games and 10 are away. So a huge month. Getting into December now, just so you can see it here. It's over here. Another packed month. Again, no games on Fridays. It just kind of continues throughout the year. And for these games, we have in December on the 2nd, we start a 5-game homestand. Minnesota, Seattle, Winnipeg, Buffalo, and Detroit. That's till the 11th. And then we're on the road again for 5 games. Toronto is going to be a big one there. We don't host Toronto till February, I think, right before the Olympic break. So, you gotta wait. All you TO fans here in Edmonton gotta wait till February for us to play you guys. But again, another big month. One of the cool things we noticed, Rod, was we got Calgary right before the Christmas break, and then we got Calgary on the 27th. So kind of a home and home before and after the Christmas break. So that's kind of cool for the Battle of Alberta and our team to the south there. Big games though, these Calgary games, like a home opener, and then you got the games before and after the break. And then we also have Calgary. We'll get to it later, but we have them on the
last game before the Olympics.
The last game before the break. So big games, important games as far as how you're coming in and out of breaks. So, interesting how they scheduled that. But that's pretty much it for December, right, Rod? Nothing too crazy after that. Obviously, there's the New Year's Eve game, which is at home.
Against Boston.
That's going to be awesome. An original 6 team in Boston, which will also be the return of Victor Arvidsson. And you were mentioning when I mentioned that to you that there are. We don't know how many fans Victor Arvidsson made over here in Oil Country, but
how many jerseys do you think are going to be
in the stands? That will definitely be a unicorn jersey. If anybody did get one. Don't feel too bad about it because it still has the best logo in the NHL on the front. But that will be a unicorn jersey, definitely part of some cool trivia questions down the road. Moving on into the new year, moving into January, and as you can see up here, we're down here for January, bottom left corner. Again, no games on the Fridays. So a lot of afternoon games as well in that span. And nothing really, as far as, huge games to circle on the calendar. But for me, Los Angeles, Saturday night, 8 p.m. in Edmonton. That's going down on January 10th. So always love watching the Oilers in LA after the, playoff rivalry they've built. So that's going to be an action.
That's our first
game
against them this season.
Yeah.
That's crazy, eh?
I'm definitely going to try to go to that game personally. So, I can try to boo Ken Holland if he can hear me amongst the 18-5 strong that will be there. But also we're hosting the first overall pick in Matthew Schaefer on January 15th.
Yeah.
So the Islanders are in town, and a humongous homestand starts from January 18th against St. Louis. And we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game homestand, starting with St. Louis, finishing with Toronto on February 3rd. And in between there, you're going to have Ovechkin returning possibly for the last time to Rogers Place. So that's also happening. Crosby will also be in town if he's still a Pittsburgh Penguin at that point.
I know, eh?
So yeah, great games actually for the month of January here in Edmonton. You know, Jersey's in town, Anaheim, San Jose. You know, get a chance to see Celebrini maybe. And obviously, you know, we're going to have a ton of Toronto fans in the barn here in Edmonton watching the Leafs. So that's going to be definitely a date to circle on your calendar, which brings us into February. February, Rod, not too crazy busy of a month because of the Olympic break. As you can see, as you can see here in the top right-hand corner here, you got 2 weeks kind of with no games. That's the break for Olympics. So we play Calgary on the road right before the Olympic break starts, and the Oilers do not return from the Olympic break until we play Anaheim Ducks on the road on the February 25th.
That's 3 weeks off.
Yep.
Big break.
And that is another road trip that I'd love to do one day. Hopefully me and you can do that trip one day, Rod.
The California trip, eh?
Because I know how much you love beautiful weather and hate the cold weather.
Yeah.
But you got Anaheim, LA, and San Jose. San Jose being an afternoon game at 1 o'clock. Moving on into March. Full schedule again for the Oilers. February was 1 home game, 4 away.
Exactly.
And March is 8 home games, 6 on the road, and some kind of big dates for those March games is, Rod, you always love when we play Vegas, so we're on the road in Vegas. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to know when that game is. Because, I mean, if you haven't had a chance to watch the Oil play in Vegas, man, that's got to be a must-do thing as a diehard Oiler fan. Nothing like walking in or out of that arena in Las Vegas to watch the Oilers play. And then, obviously, there is a 4-game homestand. We got Smashville here on March 15th on Sunday, and San Jose and the return of the Florida Panthers on March 19th. So circle that one on your calendars. Followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning, Utah, and Vegas. And another homestand begins on March 28th, Anaheim and Seattle, followed by Chicago and Vegas. Going into the April months, obviously April's a little shorter of a month, but we have 4 home games and 3 away. So kind of everything kind of got congested, I noticed, Rod, because of the Olympic break. It's very top heavy, the schedule. We got obviously the final game of the season is Colorado, followed by Vancouver. So I always notice we're playing Vancouver towards the end of the season. So obviously those are probably going to be some big game points for the Edmonton Oilers. But that is pretty much the schedule, Rod.
Couple of things I'd like to mention.
All right, let me get rid of this thing off the screen so we can see you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Away games from March 8th to the 13th. We got Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, and St. Louis. That's going to be a tough road trip, but big test for the boys. And
Massive.
Another thing I'd like to mention, 3 games against Vegas, March 8th, March 26 and April 4. Those are big games for the standings. Hopefully, we'll be fighting up first positions.
And all late in the season games. We don't play Vegas till later on in the year, which is, they are a division rival. So again, it'd be nice to kind of match up against these teams a little bit earlier in the year, but we got to wait for those ones. We did also want to mention that I have 3 musts. If we could only watch 3 games, we want to kind of to make this a little bit fun. So, I mean, if I could only watch 3 games of the year, what would they be? And Rod, I'm going to start with asking you that question. So if you could only watch 3 games, what would those big 3 games be circled on your calendar?
I love the home opener. I've always been a big fan, and especially now this year against Calgary, one of our biggest rivals. I love that one. Florida, either game, home or away, let's hope we can win. And honestly, like you mentioned earlier, I love playing against Vegas. And that's April 4. Maybe that's a big game to determine who's in first place. I think that's a massive game, and it'll be a fun game.
Yeah, they are obviously in our division, so massive games, obviously. I'm going to agree with you there. If I could only watch 3 games, it's definitely the home opener. Especially that it's against Calgary this year. It's always fun, the Battle of Alberta. And I am going to surprising maybe to some people, but those who know me, not surprising. Because I love, watching, these first, second, and third overall picks come into the league and kind of track them and watch how they do. So for me, it's obviously against the New York Islanders when the New York Islanders are in town, which I believe was January, Rod?
January the 15th.
January the 15th. So I would circle that one. And I would also circle the first time the Oilers play the Panthers, which, like I said, the first time, not the second time. The second time we're at home. So that road game against the Panthers, which is, I think, November 22nd, I would definitely, that's definitely a must watch game for me. So if I could only watch 3, those are my 3 that I would choose. So that's pretty much the schedule for the year. Let us know in the comments what would be your top 3 games that you could watch this year. Always love to hear from everyone, and just want to take this moment as well to thank everyone that has subscribed to the channel. We are over 1,000 strong. Really appreciate it. That was our goal, and we are marching towards our goal of 2,000. So hopefully we can hit that by next season. Again, this is a fan channel. So, I mean, you're going to hear basically what the fans, we're all hardcore fans.
A lot of emotions.
Lots of emotion, and the streets are talking. The streets are talking, and kind of what you talk about when you're, at work or driving around town, or just run into a fellow Oiler fan, kind of what you're chatting about. That's kind of what we want to talk about on this channel, because that's what we feel is kind of missing from other media outlets when it comes to the Oilers. So that's what we try and do here on Frozen Oil. And that's about it. Rod, any other comments you'd like to make?
No, let's go Oilers. I'm excited with this season.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm sure we'll all be together for the home opener. That's for sure. Maybe I'll host that one. Yeah, that'll be a good one. All right, cool. Well, hope everybody's enjoying their summer. The weather, knock on wood, has continued to hold here in Edmonton. So it's been a beautiful summer. So hope everybody's enjoying it. Everybody, hopefully you can chill and relax this summer, because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of stress headed our way for the upcoming season for the Oilers. As always, it's not an Oilers season without stress.
Big roller coaster.
Yeah, big time. So that'll do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And most importantly, go Oilers, go.
Go Oilers.
Frozen or hockey, the channels you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.
Frozen or hockey,